Deep in the heart of the jungle, there lived a big, scary lion. He was the largest and fiercest animal anyone had ever seen, with a golden mane that shone in the sunlight and eyes that glowed in the dark. The other animals always knew when he was near, because the air would suddenly feel tense and quiet. He had a thunderous roar that echoed through the trees and shook the ground beneath their feet. All the animals were afraid of him, and even the bravest creatures would run and hide when they heard his mighty voice. The lion chased the zebras across the grassy fields, making them scatter in every direction. He scared the monkeys so much that they would leap high into the treetops, chattering in fear and clinging to the branches. He even made the elephants, the biggest animals in the jungle, hide behind the thickest trees. The jungle was not a happy place anymore. The once cheerful sounds of laughter and play had disappeared, replaced by silence and worry. The animals felt sad and lonely. They couldn't play their favorite games or find food easily because they were always looking over their shoulders, afraid the lion might be watching. The lion was always hiding somewhere, waiting to jump out and scare them. The animals lived in constant fear, and they knew something had to be done to change things. The animals realized they needed a plan to stop being afraid all the time. One day, they decided to have a big meeting deep in the jungle, hoping to find a solution together. They gathered by the watering hole, where the monkeys chattered nervously and looked around to make sure the lion wasn't nearby. Everyone was anxious, but they knew they had to be brave. The zebras stomped their hooves to show they were serious. Even the brave tigers, who were usually fearless, whispered their worries to each other, their tails twitching with concern. Everyone agreed that the lion was a big problem, and they needed to find a way to bring peace and happiness back to their jungle home. "We have to do something!" cried a little monkey. "That lion is always scaring us!" A wise old elephant nodded. "He's right," the elephant trumpeted. "We can't live like this anymore." All the animals talked at once. They were scared and confused. Who could help them? Just then, a little rabbit hopped into the middle of the group. "I have a plan," the rabbit said. The other animals looked at him in surprise. Could the little rabbit really help them? The rabbit explained his idea. He would trick the lion. The other animals listened closely. The rabbit's plan was very clever. It just might work. All the animals felt a little bit of hope. The next morning, the rabbit went to find the lion. He found the lion sleeping under a big tree. "Wake up, sleepyhead!" called the rabbit. The lion opened one eye. He was grumpy. "What do you want, little rabbit?" he growled. "I have something important to show you," said the rabbit. "There's another lion in the jungle. He says he's stronger than you." The lion roared angrily. "Another lion? Impossible!" he shouted. "Come with me," said the rabbit. "I'll show you." The rabbit led the lion through the jungle. They walked for a long time. Finally, they came to a well. "Look down there," said the rabbit. "That's the other lion." The lion, feeling both curious and suspicious, looked down into the deep, dark well. He wondered if the other lion he had heard about was hiding inside. As he peered over the edge, he saw his own reflection shimmering in the water below. Thinking it was another lion challenging him, the real lion let out a thunderous roar. "Grrr!" roared the lion, his voice echoing off the stone walls. "I'll show him who's boss!" The lion growled, his pride wounded and his temper flaring. He was determined not to let any rival take over his jungle. Without thinking twice, the silly lion leapt right into the well, convinced he could defeat his imaginary enemy. He splashed into the cold water with a huge, noisy crash, sending ripples across the surface and soaking his mane. The clever rabbit watched from above, his eyes wide with amazement and relief. His plan had worked perfectly. The lion tried desperately to climb out of the well, but the walls were far too slippery, and the well was much too deep. No matter how hard he tried, he just kept sliding back down. He was stuck. The rabbit called goodbye to the lion, his voice echoing down the well. "Good luck getting out," he teased. "I think you'll be staying there for a while," the rabbit said with a chuckle, feeling proud of his clever trick. With a happy heart, the rabbit hopped back through the jungle, eager to share the news with his friends. He soon found all the other animals gathered together, waiting anxiously to hear what had happened. "The lion is gone," he announced proudly, his voice ringing with excitement and relief. The animals couldn't believe their ears. They looked at each other in shock and amazement, hardly daring to hope it was true. The rabbit told them the whole story, describing how he had tricked the lion and saved the jungle from danger. The animals cheered and danced with joy, celebrating their newfound safety and the cleverness of their friend. The jungle was safe again, and all the animals could finally live in peace, thanks to the brave and clever rabbit. The animals were so happy. Their laughter echoed through the trees, and the whole jungle seemed to sparkle with excitement. They gathered around the clever rabbit, thanking him over and over again for his courage and quick thinking. Now they could finally play and sing without being afraid, their voices rising in joyful songs that filled the air. The monkeys swung from the trees, chattering and giggling as they showed off their tricks to their friends. The zebras galloped through the tall green grass, their hooves thundering as they raced each other under the bright sun. The elephants trumpeted with joy, their trunks raised high as they joined in the celebration, making everyone smile. The rabbit became a hero in the eyes of all the animals, and they cheered for him with admiration and love. He had been so brave and clever, using his wits to protect his friends and stand up to danger. He had saved the jungle from the scary lion, making it a safe place for everyone once again. But the rabbit knew he couldn't have done it alone. He looked at his friends with gratitude in his heart. The other animals had helped him by being brave and working together, showing that teamwork makes anything possible. From that day on, the jungle was a peaceful and happy place, filled with laughter, friendship, and trust. The animals learned that even though they were all different, they could overcome any problem by working together and believing in each other. And so, the jungle became a place where everyone felt safe and loved, and they all lived happily ever after.